Working here at Allsopp is not your average 9 to 5. Sure, we have incredible office space, but it's the people that really make the difference.
Anna here from Allsopp and Allsopp.
I'm Stephen from Allsopp and Allsopp.
Georgia from Allsopp and Allsopp.
Taylor from Allsopp and Allsopp.
Hello and welcome to a very sunny day, and today we are coming to you from Lady Allsopp II. I'm Kameron Hutchinson, your host of today's webinar, and I'm joined by none other than Lewis Allsopp, who is one half of the self-made millionaire brother duo Carl and Lewis Allsopp. Thanks for having us.
I don't like being known as the self-made millionaire, but
that's what you are, mate.
Yeah, I mean, look, we'll get onto that later. Dubai has created an incredible opportunity for me, Carl, and many people in Dubai. But welcome to Lady Allsopp. I think it's an incredible place that we've decided to do it.
Incredible.
Look, fortunate to be able to do it, and that view, probably the best view for 2025 for a podcast.
I think the best view. The only thing we're missing, and I blame the production crew, is no sun cream for me. But
so he should get redder and redder. If I drag this webinar out and podcast out a little bit, you'll be redder for the day.
Listen, that's okay. I'm going to walk you through what you're going to expect for the next 30 minutes. It's information on Dubai, information on Allsopp and Allsopp, what makes us the best, and why you should be thinking about this as your next opportunity. Now, Lou, people perhaps watching this now are going to be thinking, okay, you're on a yacht.
Two knobheads on a yacht.
Why should I? It's the typical Dubai life.
Yeah.
What would your answer be to that?
Yes, it may be it is. It's what you see on Instagram. But one thing that working with Allsopp and Allsopp is that we're very, and it's going to sound crazy to say this, we're normal, honest guys. And you know, anybody watching this, yeah, okay, maybe I'm not that normal today, but I started off as somebody that moved to Dubai with a dream of having a better life. And I think everybody who's watching this is resonating. It's going to be sitting maybe in Coventry, London, Manchester, and their life's nice, and they're looking at the rain, and they're watching these podcasts thinking, wow, these guys are sitting on the boat on a Wednesday talking about Dubai real estate, which is the most booming economy in the world. And it's very difficult not to be attracted to it. So, you know, anybody watching this is real, what we do here. And
no green screens.
Yeah, and the one thing I would say is that, and this blows my mind, is that people that go on holiday for a week and then they get on the plane and go, oh, I'm going back to reality. Forget earning all the money, forget all that and the success. This is free. To go on that beach behind us is free.
JBR Beach?
JBR is free. This is Jumeirah Beach residence. You can jump into a taxi or you can walk there, which is free. And then you can spend the evening there and spend no money. So everyone talks about this, oh, you've got to be on a yacht or a plane and things like that. That lifestyle is gettable for everybody. You just need to jump on a plane and then decide what type of Dubai you want to live in.
I mean, we are amongst yachts, planes.
There's a plane going past now. Yeah.
So we are amongst that company. But okay, so it's fair to say then, and I'm pretty confident in saying this, that people watching this from the UK specifically, or any part of the world, the likelihood is it's January the something.
5th or 6th?
February. Oh my God.
Oh my God.
February.
We're marketing a shouting out. Yeah. It's February.
We are in deep winter around the world, but actually we're sat here and it's not deep winter at all.
Yeah, I think we're lucky here. I mean, we'll get onto the property market and everything else, but the best thing about Dubai for me specifically, when I was 20, it was about the partying and the lifestyle. And that's me being honest with you. That's a conversation to have later on. But I'm 38 now, and now 39 in April. When I look at Dubai now, like I just said about the beach then, last week I just took my daughter and my son, 5 and a 3-year-old, I took them to the beach, we had ice cream, we spent £4. We had a coffee, we then enjoyed the evening, went for dinner on the beach, and then you go for a walk around the marina. That is an incredible life that anybody can have. Yep. And I think there's just two very, very different lives here. There is the young life, and there is the family life, and both opportunities exist.
And that's something actually which I don't think people necessarily know, right? They will see Dubai as the Lamborghinis, the yacht parties, the brunches,
sitting on a podcast,
but actually there is a family element to it. And yes, we are sat on your yacht, but you do come on this with your family, and you do have quality family time.
Yeah, I'm weird with it. I said off camera before, I'm weird with like anything like my boat or my apartment, that whether it's a holiday home, I only like family around me. And I think that's as I've got older, like you go from the social to the anti-social. My mum used to someone knocked on the door in England my mum would go, "Who's at the door?" And I was like, "Why are you like?" Now that's me. I am that guy now.
I don't think you're as bad as Carl though.
No, Carl, my brother is he's definitely. Do you know what he does? He leaves his foot at the door when he opens, and he opens like, "Hello."
Oh, he doesn't actually let you. cross
No,
the
he doesn't
threshold.
actually let. And then you got to be, "Oh, I'm here for you."
Even for you.
No, he lets me in as other people. To be fair.
So then let's get to it, because there's a reason that you guys will have tuned in today, and it's to talk about whether or not you want to change your life. And I know that sounds a bit dramatic, change your life. You might be happy with the life that you have, and if you are, that's fantastic. But there is a reason that you'll have tuned into this webinar, and it's because something isn't clicking. And I know we've said it a few times, and I'll just say it again. There are different elements to Dubai. There are different avenues for you to progress down. You don't have to choose the flashy lifestyle. You don't have to choose the family lifestyle. You can go somewhere in the middle. That's the beauty of Dubai. There is something for everybody.
A new starter joined us a year ago, and he's doing very well. He's on the journey of success, but his success story last week was within the first 12 months of being in Dubai. He wanted to buy, it was the new VW. And he had a picture outside the VW. And people don't see that about Dubai. People want to own their first car and their second car. Yes, you see the Bentleys, the Lamborghinis, and all these things. But the honest truth is, there are people going through that journey. What I would say about that guy who's in lettings and he's gone on to achieve his first goal is it probably would have took him 5 or 6 years to own that car cash outright, because that car probably is a year's salary.
Yep.
So Dubai, it just accelerates your capabilities. And I think that's the message to everybody is, if you're tuning into this and you're looking at the webinar, Dubai isn't magically going to make millionaires. You will speak to people that say, "I hate Dubai, it's not this, it's like, I failed in Dubai." People fail, people succeed. But one thing that I've learned about it is that there are a lot more people that have, accelerated their freedom financially than anywhere else in the world. And if you want that chance of being that person, you've got to be in the right environment.
Well, one of the common questions that we get is how many people fail. And it's not very nice to talk about failure, but we would anticipate that approximately 60% of the people that join us will be successful.
Yep.
And 40% will not, for whatever reason. And there's a whole myriad of
And by the way,
reasons.
I want to say this. I hate it when people fail.
Yeah.
So like we bring people over with the best intentions. We have 1,800, 2,000 CVs a month that land on the inbox. And then you
Even
will,
more, yeah.
okay, and then you'll go into that and you'll figure out age, experience, all the criteria that we have. One thing you can't control as a business owner in an interview is you can meet someone that goes, "I'm going to smash it, I'm going to do amazing, and I'm going to be the hardest worker," and they come in and they don't light it up for whatever reason that may be. They go home at 4:35. They don't work in the evening. I've seen it before where basically I am at the elevator at 5 p.m. and I've been in the business 18 years, 17 and a half years. And I'm at the elevator at 5 o'clock. And my why for being at the elevator at 5 is I'm bathing my kids at 6:30, 6 o'clock. I have to see them at some point. So I'm at the house at 7:30. And I look at this person, I'm like, "You're 24, 25, 26. You have no kids. Why would you not like dig in the first 6 months of the year to make sure that you're in a good place?" But the lesson I've learned in life is there are winners and there's losers. And there always will be them people in life.
But most importantly, more than half of the people that join us will go on and enjoy some kind of success. And if that's buying the VW that you particularly like outright cash, or paying off your mortgage, or paying off your parents' mortgage, clearing your credit card debts, whatever it is, there's an opportunity for you to build real wealth.
I mean, look, we always talk about Charlie King, Darren Murphy, the legacy. We've got about 10 or 15 legacy agents, and we talk about making these guys multimillionaires. If you listen to me and Cameron, we do harp on about it, and it comes across quite boring. But there are some really cool success stories of the green shoots that are coming, people that have been with us a year or 2 years. So I've written down some names here. And the first one is a guy called Liam Howlett. So Liam, backstory to Liam. Liam's been with us about 5 months now.
Yep.
5 months. His first month of joining the business, I was in the Atlantis Royal. And as I come out of there, I always get my hair cut there. And when I've got, very bougie,
Very
but
bougie.
it's a very good networking place. I've actually met both CEOs of Atlantis Royal and Kersner. I've met some really high profile people. So I've learned they've put yourself in these positions.
I might book myself in.
I'll meet you there. Anyway, so I met Liam at the Atlantis Royal. And when I met him, he came up to me and, "Hi, Lewis, how you doing? I work with you." I goes, "Oh, Liam, how you doing? You okay?" I'd met him briefly. Had the conversations. I'm really enjoying it. I've done my first deal. I left that conversation. Then I came into the office, but Liam's done his first deal. It's a record-breaking deal. So what do you mean it's record-breaking? He put on the board 1.2 million dirhams, which is just under £300,000. And that means he's took home over £150,000 in a month.
But within his first let's say 4 or 5 months of being in the business?
No. His first 30 days in the business, he put
Oh.
1 million dirhams on the board. So this guy was earning 50 or 40,000 pounds a year, then get taxed on it. He probably took home 10 years salary. And you could imagine being that guy going, oh my God, what has happened here? Like imagine being, and that is what Dubai is about.
And on top of that, having a newborn baby.
Newborn
And
baby.
relocating with a pregnant wife.
Big thing about it as well, it wasn't a one hit. The next month he made £30,000.
So that's what I was going to come on and ask you. Sometimes people will see those kinds of stories and say, it's a one-off. But actually what you're saying is it's not a one-off. It happens again and again and again.
Yeah.
All right, it wasn't 100,000 that he earned in a second deal, but it was 30.
Yeah.
30,000 English when you consider that the average UK salary is what, 27,500?
Yeah, you've got success stories like Liam and the money that he's earned. But you look at, and again, reading the names here, Sarah Hussein, I think she's been with us about 18 months now, maybe 2 years. I'm looking at her figures. I think last month she put on the board over £100,000. And no one talks about Sarah as in like comes on a podcast. So Sarah's doing amazing because that 500,000 dirham marker, and that is £120,000 on the board, getting half of that is sort of like you're doing quite well. There is a level above that where someone in January billed over £1 million in commission, which they took home over £500,000. That's another conversation. But what we're talking about are people like Sarah Hussein, Michael Kempton. So Michael Kempton is another one. So the reason I'm telling everyone these stories, I want you to just zone in. This guy was on £80,000 a year, £100,000 a year in England, which means he's taking home £7,000.
Probably not even, to be
Not
honest
even
with you,
that.
the tax.
So in, I think, 14 months of being in the business, he has made to himself about £500,000 from a dead start.
So let's just get this right. £500,000 in 18 months.
Yeah.
Having never sold real estate before, he's earned that much money.
I think he comes from good stock. His brother's Rob Kempton. Rob is by far one of the hardest working people I've worked with. He probably has the same DNA of, and again, there is no shortcuts. Mike is a hard working grafter, family man, comes with kids, comes with the purpose. But yeah, he made £500,000. And these stories could go on. There's so many people that have come on and really, really lit it up.
But it's nice to be talking about names like this because, yeah, you just said earlier on, we've probably got 15 or 20 top elite real estate professionals working for us. These people that we're mentioning here have all been with us for less than 2 years.
Yeah.
And these people are earning what we would class as life-changing sums of money. But you said something earlier, which was when people are earning maybe £100,000 or £150,000, that's a lot of money. But it's not a lot of money when you consider what the top people in Allsopp are earning.
Yeah.
And that can sound a bit... Does it sound a bit wanky? I don't know. Probably it does. But good...
I mean,
excellent somewhere.
I don't know if we're allowed to say that on the podcast.
We are.
But you might get here a...
It could sound like that, but what we're saying is that excellent somewhere else would be considered good for Allsopp. And I think it's important for us to say that.
I think if you look at UK estate agencies in London, everywhere else, if you earn £100,000 a year in the UK, you are the benchmark, the epitome. You are known as a super successful person.
Well, people want to get to six-figure earning, don't they?
And I get that. I've been there before. But what I've learned is that if you put yourself in an environment where people are doing better, your standards and expectations are elevated beyond that. I mean, to give you an example, again, talking about January's figures, we are in February. January's figures, yeah, we are. They were, in the top 6 people, not one person took home less than £120,000 in a single month in their pocket.
Top 6.
Top 6.
So what you're taking, it's taking you years to earn that level of money in the likes of the UK, the US, Australia.
What they're doing really well, and again, we'll talk about, I don't talk too much about money, but the reason that what Allsopp and Allsopp should bring to every single person watching this is, yes, you do sales, you make money, but when you're in the environment of being around entrepreneurs, there are a lot of people now buying properties, flipping properties. There's someone in our downtown team who was 5 years. He just bought and sold an apartment, and from flipping it, from money he's made in real estate, he's bought a property, flipped it, he made £250,000 in a month.
Yeah.
Well, not a month, it was 6 months of flipping to reno and buy it. But this is what Dubai is about. It's not about the job, it's about earning capital to be able to get that capital to work.
Yep.
And that's the exciting thing for me about
But also taking into consideration that on that flip, he hasn't paid capital gains.
Yeah.
He hasn't paid any stamp duty to purchase the property because we don't have those kinds of taxes in Dubai.
Yeah.
So the £250,000 that he's earned, that's in his pocket.
Yeah.
Nice place to be.
It is, but I just don't get. I'm never going to get it, and I'm not slagging UK off because I am English. I have a home in England, but when you're working, like most people that are successful, spend the first 15 days or 30 days working for the government. That's basically.
Oh, I've never thought about.
Yeah, but it's true.
It's
Like
true.
someone said the other day, and I laughed, and I was like, "Wow, you could." I just don't get it. You could jump on a plane today and be in a better environment and not pay any income tax. Like you are doubling your chance of success just from doing the same job. But yeah, I mean, look, it is what it is. I think the message to everybody when we're talking about the webinar and the podcast and people doing well is that put yourself in the right where people are doing well, give yourself the best chance, and people are doing it.
So let me say this, and let's play devil's advocate. We're saying to people, come to Dubai,
Yeah.
the market's great, this, that, and the other. There will be people out there that will say, well, actually, the market's saturated. So no, it's too much competition for me. What's your answer to that?
Honestly, Habibi, don't come to Dubai. Honestly, Dubai has a massive issue at the moment, and it is an issue. It's too popular. It's the honest truth. The real estate brokerage market is the most competitive it's ever been. Like you think you come into Dubai as a real estate broker and you're going to start lighting it up because you're quite good in England or you're quite good in US. That isn't the case because you've got people from LA, Marbella, you've got Ryan Serhant over here, you've got people that I've seen from Spain, all around the world are flying here to get a piece of this tax-free real estate brokerage environment. So to succeed here, you need to be the best that you can be.
The best version that you can.
So it's not easy. Is it saturated? There's lots of brokers. But the problem with Dubai is the roads are too busy. The schools are overpopulated and oversubscribed. I've got friends that are messaging me saying, your kids go to RGS, shout out, probably the best school in Dubai, massive fan of that RGS.
Yep.
Can you get me in? I'm saying, I don't know how to get you in. They've got a waiting list of like 10 people. The roads are, the schools are, the malls are stretched at the moment.
So all that means that they're going to build more to cater for the demand.
They are. I mean, if you go further down the sea that way, you've got Palm Jubilee, which in 5 to 10 years is going to be double the size of Palm Jumeirah. They'll have their own mall on there. They'll have another 5 or 10,000 houses, but you've got the airport going there. You've got new residences. They'll create new malls. So they are stretching the population along the coastline and further out.
Yeah.
But right this second, Dubai is ultra popular and ultra competitive.
And it's attracting people not just from the UK, but all around the world.
It's attracting the best talent in the world. Stephen Bartlett did a video, did you see it? Where he said, the best talent I've worked with in the last 5 years have all upped sticks from the UK and moved to Dubai. Why is that?
Well, there was the article that came out at the beginning of the year, right? About every 45 minutes, a millionaire leaving the UK. Now that's sad. There will be people that will look at that and go, oh, there's people moving out the UK. Yeah, good riddance. They're all off to Dubai. What they're not thinking is there's no wealthy people reinvesting back into the UK. They're investing here, which naturally everybody will level up.
So I had this argument, and again, we're going off piece here on the webinar, but it's important to get my mindset is, I was arguing with this guy on Instagram that someone put this thing about Trump and they were talking.
Viral post.
No, it was a different one.
Oh.
Basically, they were talking about taxation. They were saying, it's disgusting. All the millionaires leaving, they're leaving their tax behind, that. And I was like, look, I'm not being funny. If you are a millionaire in the UK, the police force are being cut. It's the most dangerous place to live. The weather's not good. And you're sitting there and you've got, I think her name's Rachel Reeves in the UK. Yep. She's basically going, we're going to take all the money off the wealthy people and we're going to bring it back. And my argument was, these business owners are creating jobs and wealth. And you should, like, what Dubai does really well is it promotes entrepreneurship and success and goes, you know what? If you're the best talent, we're going to give you a 10-year visa and we're going to help you open a bank account up and we're not going to tax you and we're going to pay you the best and it's the best weather. And you're like, wow. And I've got Rachel Reeves on TV saying, we're going to get everybody that's doing well in the UK and we will bring that money back to immigration and funding wars around the world and everything else. And if you're sitting there, you're like, wow, that's just the best place for me now.
Well, it's depressing, I think, more than anything, and it doesn't build wealthy people. Let's say this. We've mentioned a few names, Kat McHugh, Michael Kempton, Sarah Hussein, Liam Howlett. What do these individuals and other successful people in our business, what do they all have in common?
Mindset.
Okay.
Mindset is everything. Anybody, again, watching the webinar, wanting to know about how to be successful, my mind works like this. If I lose a sale, and the seller backed out the deal, I'm instantly thinking I've got the hottest buyer and how do I get them back out? You have to have that back to zero mentality. And I've seen people that go on and they might do a cheeky deal and they go, oh, I did a deal amazing, and they back off. If I look at the elite performers, like there's Dan Perry in our company, I think he did 9 sales last month. And every time we did a deal, it's like, okay, on to the next one, on to the next one. And they don't, it's a weird thing, but it's called winner syndrome.
Yes.
So like, me and Carl are very bad at it. We don't really celebrate our successes. I think we've just had our second best month ever. Most amount of leads generated. The business is growing. Everybody's booming. But me and Carl are like having mini arguments on Monday about why we're not getting to the next level. And me and Darren Murphy literally had an argument about adverts on, I say argument, we're talking passionately about how we're going to get better. And I laughed on the phone to Darren. I was like, Daz, this is mental. Like, you just had, and he had his PB month last month.
Yeah.
I was like, you had your PB month and we're sitting here talking about why we're not where we want to be. And we were just laughing, saying that's how we're built. And that is what we look for in people.
But that's a very good mentality to have, because the flip side, you will have people that will do big deals, earn a lot of money, and they'll celebrate. And that's fine. You should always treat yourself. More importantly, there are real estate business owners that will get to a level and they'll plateau. They've done well, they're successful, they've reached a level of wealth that they probably didn't think was available to them. Honestly, you don't stop, and you don't let your team stop. And that can sometimes have quite a stressful impact, because everybody is aiming for something better.
Yeah.
But I'd rather be not ungrateful, but dissatisfied with our lot because we know we can do more, than think, oh yeah, we've done well.
But that's the key to success. And it's not just real estate. You've got to have that mindset where it's never enough. My mind works in a way that if I bought an island, someone's got a better island than me, and I want to work harder, and I can launch this new technology, but I know someone else already up my arse and they're going to launch something else. And I think that, I mean, you know what we look for. If you are coming into this job and you come from a competitive background of sports, football, chess, ballet, Emma Kerr, ballet?
Professional ballet dancer.
Professional, but soon as we hired her, you speak to her, and again, it's a name that we're not even talking about on the generally, like in the numbers at the moment, does really well.
Yep.
And she's like professional ballet, and I was just like, this girl, if she's been at that level, she's gonna do it, and it's proven time and time again. If it's there, and you can take the competitive streak into a different environment and use that fire, it's rocket.
So what we're saying is, for anybody watching this, you don't need real estate experience. You don't need sales experience. You need a winner's mindset. You need to be disciplined, but you also need to know, one, what it feels like to fail, but two, what it feels like to win.
Yeah.
Because you don't want those first time winners that you want somebody to go again and again and again.
I failed so many times. I have failed so many times. I know it's quite a cliche thing. You see entrepreneurs say it all the time, but I laugh. I could tell you stuff we've done in the business where I've tried it and it hasn't worked, and I've tried it and it hasn't worked. But you have to try to fail.
Yep.
And a lot of people, I think it's that Michael Jordan quote, isn't he? He talks about how he's the best player ever, but he missed so many hoops. Like, I'm more than comfortable saying, that didn't work. But that's what winners do. And the losers, what they do, it goes back to the UK mentality, or the people sitting in Spain or America, as they go, oh, I've heard you can't hold hands in Dubai and you can't drink, and it's oversaturated. Okay, you sit in that bubble, because there's going to be 10 winners that are going to jump and say, do you know what? This life that I've got at the moment isn't enough, and I'm going to get what I need to get. Because if other people are getting it, I'm going to get it.
Well, it's about having the confidence to be able to take the step, right? And move over to a country that you've maybe never been to, work in a city, do a job that you've never done before. And then when you add on commission only, there's a hell of a lot of risk.
I think the big thing for everybody that watches, especially if you're an estate agent, how do you earn the money? So I'm going to give you, again, because I know these numbers so well, I can run it off my head without paper. Let's say I'm going to break it down in sterling. The average house price is £800,000 as an example. That's basically the average, I think it's 4 million dirhams now, which is just under £1 million. £800,000, we charge 2% to the buyer, 2% to the seller. So that's 36,000. 36,000, 34,000.
We're talking pounds.
8. What's that? 4 eights. 8. 34. 34. Is it?
I don't know.
34?
We're going to do a quick calculation, because we want to get the figures.
8 times 4. 8, 16, 24.
32.
32. Wow, it's well off then. So 32,000. So if you sell a house for £800,000 in the UK, you probably get 1%, which is £8,000. Off that brokerage fee, you would make 10% maximum, which means £800 for that sale. In Dubai, we get paid £32,000 because we get 2% from the buyer, 2% from the seller, which is £32,000. The agent then gets £16,000 in their pocket. Now, the beauty about that is you also don't get taxed, and that is one sale. We did one sale last month that was £900,000 commission.
£900,000. So nearly £1 million.
Yep.
Pounds.
Split between two brokers.
Wow.
So when you break down the numbers, okay, actually, if I move to Dubai and sell a standard apartment on the Palm Jumeirah, a 2-bedroom, facing the sea, it's 6 million dirhams, 6, 12, 18, 6, 12, 24, 240,000 dirhams.
Yes.
Okay, is what you'd make for a 6 million dirham apartment. You get half of that. So you make 120,000 dirhams or just over £35,000.
But that's the thing. You're not earning £35,000 because the real estate brokerage in the UK is going to take their commission. And as you said, you're then going to get your 10%.
No, you're missing what I'm saying. Here.
Oh, right.
So here you make £35,000 for selling a £1 million 2-bedroom. Now,
That's not bad work.
I mean, look, that is a standard. I'm not saying disrespecting it, but it's a standard apartment.
Yep.
6 million dirhams for a sea view apartment is normal, and there are thousands of them happen. So people might watch this going, "Oh, only one of them a year happen." There are more property sales in Dubai than there is in London.
Wow.
The whole of London. I think London averages 100. London average last year ended up like close to 90,000 sales. Dubai had 150,000.
Well, because there's a big demand for people wanting to come in and buy, and also it's good value for money. Whilst we're talking about these high ticket prices, Dubai, in comparison to other cities around the world, is very good value for money, right? Still,
I mean, yeah, it is in certain places. There are definitely the ultra luxury developments. We're looking at one there. There's actually a couple behind us. One JBR, the Atlantis Royal. Any of these sea view developments, you've got 5 Lux. They are high level tickets, but you do have £250,000 apartments further into the city. So there is a vast array of everything. Message to anybody watching this is that if you're an estate agent, you can sell a normal house and make £25,000 in your pocket versus £2,000.
well, yeah, not even 2,000,
Yeah.
which is sad. The other thing I just want to touch on there then is that we said a rough figure for a UK average sale, commission in the agent's pocket, it's about £800.
I mean, I used to get a lot less than that. So, like Coventry apartments and houses, let's say it's £300,000, we get 1%, which is £3,000. And then I got 8%, but let's call it 10%. So I make 300 quid. But then you've got to do the petrol, the viewings. You probably have to do 18 viewings to do it.
Well, also you take in tax, by the time you reduce from tax and NI from each commission,
Correct.
it ain't worth it.
It's a tough gig.
Habibi's come to Dubai. So why Allsopp
We're
and
not
Allsopp?
allowed to say that. I hate that.
They are.
Do you actually like that saying?
But I think it's just a thing, right?
Yeah, I know. I think it's just a trend.
Maybe we'll scratch that bit.
Habibi, don't come to Dubai. That's what I want to say because it's too busy at the moment.
Rich Habibis come to Dubai to buy the properties.
They're already here.
So for those that don't know,
Yeah.
why should they choose Allsopp and Allsopp?
There's a few factors. First of all, we're 16 years deep. It's nearly 17 in September. And I think the big thing is there's a lot of companies set up 3 or 4 years ago. There is so many that put their lives into hands of virtual startup businesses. And you've got to look at that when you're putting your livelihood on the line. I would always back, like if I'm going to do my accounts, I'll do it with KPMG or Crow or someone really well known. If I'm buying a laptop, I'm buying Apple.
Yep.
If I'm buying a watch, I'm buying an AP, a Rolex. I know what horses to back.
Yep.
One of the funny things about Dubai is that I see some people join this absolutely obscure company. I'm like, oh, you could fit in our company. How did you end up there? And I think the one thing we need to learn is that if you go to a company that has the experience, we've got 17 years deep, we generate 5,000 new registered clients a month. What that means to anybody joining the business is that if you have a property for sale, you're not just going, oh my God, how do I sell it? We have a pool of people that you are literally able to call and speak to. Most of the SMEs, the small, medium enterprises, don't have the capability to be able to sell it. Getting the listings quite easy. But when you're around really, really good agents and a really good database, it's very easy to to get on in real estate.
Well, if you add on the fact that in 2024, this will be a number which will, I think, impress people or maybe shock people. I don't know, but 70,000, more than 70,000 property viewings in 2024. You said earlier on 5,000 client registrations a month, right?
Yeah.
Crazy.
I think it was over 100,000 website visits. So if you go onto Google, anybody watching this, do it afterwards. Google buy a property in Dubai, sell my property in Dubai, invest in Dubai, and basically all the keyword searches, you'll see the two big portals like Rightmove. It's Zoopla and Property Finder and Bayut.
Yeah.
The third one on most search engines, you will see Allsopp and Allsopp. We have 120, 130,000 visits every single month without fail. Their clients coming back into the ecosystem.
Impressive numbers.
It's
Very
I think the numbers are great, but I just think it helps an agent do their job. You know, if we can bring clients back to the agents, it makes it a lot easier to settle into Dubai.
So then bringing this all full circle to the people that are watching this, that have tuned in to find out how they can make it happen, we have a very experienced recruitment team who will be able to assist you with your relocation, whether you or not you are coming here on your own, whether or not you have a family. We will assist you with your visa, your bank setup, something to drive, somewhere to live, schooling. Our job is to make your relocation to Dubai as easy as we possibly can. And for those that are interested in taking things further, they can reach out to any one of my team, submit an application, and we begin that process of getting you moved over to Dubai.
I think the big thing for me as well is that a lot of real estate brokers in Dubai, and I said about being saturated, because everybody's trying to get the best talent in Dubai. And, you know, we're the same. We want to work with the best.
Of course.
When we hire people, you're not allowed into our office until you have a visa.
Correct.
And that's massive. For anybody watching this, moving to Dubai, a company should invest into you. They should be saying, okay, cool, we need to get you onto a legitimate working visa to make you legally employed. If you don't, you are like an illegal alien in Dubai, which can get you in quite a lot of trouble. A lot of companies in Dubai, that's what Trump calls, isn't it? He said it. Basically, if you don't have that, you're not allowed in the office, in any office in Dubai. And if you're caught, there's obviously ramifications for it. With Allsopp and Allsopp, because we're 17 years deep, we've got the processes, we've got the funding and everything else. We will invest into the brokers. We will get your visa before you step into the office, which cards on table costs about £1,300-1,400 per person minimum to get that done.
But we're doing that with people before they've even, sometimes we will start visas before people have left their country of origin. So they are arriving in ready to work at Allsopp and Allsopp.
Yeah.
People take for granted.
And people don't get that normally. What they say is do your deal and then we'll get you a visa, which is just wild. So everything we do correctly with a very strong database, an incredible team around us. And to be honest with you, you said it before, all roads do lead to Allsopp. There are people that have worked for us before. There are directors and developers. There are banks. Everybody has an affiliation that comes back to Allsopp and Allsopp, whether that is our real estate arm, lettings, our mortgage, our conveyancing, our foreign currency, our property maintenance. We have a full circle division and we are linked to every bank, every client, every developer across the board. So all roads will always lead back to Allsopp.
It's quite proud for I think people that have worked with Allsopp and Allsopp for a long time. When people do leave us inevitably to go on and do something else, or maybe they start their own business, to know that they started their journey with Allsopp and Allsopp.
Yeah.
It's
yeah, I mean, I'll always go up and give these guys a hug and say, how are you doing? And it's just another subject podcast, but a lot of these companies set up 3 or 4 years ago, I think have not got their business model right. You know, if you can't make a very profitable business in Dubai, in the best market in the world, something's wrong. And there are a lot of companies out there at the moment that are offering 80, 90, 70% commission to brokers. And that means the company's left with 30% to pay marketing. They're to pay fees, their salaries and everything else. And I've actually,
visas.
Yeah, look, cards on the table. I've had investor decks to me from other brokerage saying that, you know, they're looking for capital injection investment. These models do not work. Building a sustainable business and have sustainable staff here is the main thing you look for. And that's why the number one USP to me is 17 years in September, we have grew individuals, we grew as a business, and what we're doing is sustainable.
But we create successful people, we create millionaires. Yeah. But you're also creating a very profitable business at the same time, which a lot of the time people don't necessarily understand business. Profit
goes back into management. It goes into technology. It goes into growth. You know, we're one of the few companies, we own all our offices that we're in. We are the full, no loans, no liabilities. We own them. Yeah. You go in the building that we're in, everybody's a tenant and they're all liable to be kicked out in month, 6 months, whenever that time will come, we are a stable foundation. And, you know, when I talk about it, it's proud to say that.
It
you know,
is.
we've created an incredible benchmark for brokers and a base. I think people move from England, it's home. And that's the safety that people want.
And even things that we might take for granted, like our offices.
Yeah.
The marketing.
Yeah.
You know, it happens.
The vision with the office really was create the Google, Apple uplifting. If you used to go to, I don't go there anymore because I don't think the brand is cool anymore, but Abercrombie when I was younger.
Oh, were you an Abercrombie guy?
Yeah, I used to like the aftershave and everything, but I used to go in there, I was like, whoa, the feel. The music was pumping, they're really good looking guys there, all with their shirts off as well. And
It used to be dark as well, right? Inside?
Yeah, it was dark and moody, but the vibe was like, I want to buy clothes. And I remember crying, I was like, wow, that's really cool. And when we set the business up, the first thing that I said is, where are the speakers going to be?
Yeah.
And how do I get this vibe? When you walk in there now, some people are like, oh, it's too loud. The music's on, there's coffee, there's people pumping around. We've got walking tracks and running tracks, barbers. And when you're in the vibe, you're like, this is a place I want to work.
This is a cool place to work. Now, I'm looking at the production team. Do we have time for some questions or not? We do?
He's going redder and redder in the sun.
Well, we've also turned around whilst we've been on the boat.
know,
And
yeah,
the sun is directly
really
on
is.
us now. So apologies in advance. Okay.
Oh, wow, okay.
So basically, our team have put together a list of frequently asked questions, which I think is good to kick off with this one.
FAQ.
An FAQ. Everybody loves an FAQ, right? So we've got one here that says, I'm plus 40. Am I too old for real estate since I see a lot of younger people working in Dubai?
No, we want, when we first set up in 2008, I was aiming for 21-year-olds, 22-year-olds, because I was 21, 22 at the time. As I've moved through the career of being a business owner, I found that people that are in their 30s, 40s and 50s come with a purpose. They've got life experience. The main thing that they've got is empathy. Empathy and being able to read the room. You cannot get that without age and experience. So if you are 40 years old, 30 years old, trust me, you are our target demographic.
But also, would you say that sometimes it's not necessarily about age, it's about mindset? Because you could have an early 20s individual that moves with the right mindset, that does absolutely zero.
We've turned down a 19-year-old before. Really nice guy, Irish lad, about 13 years ago. He was 19 at the time. We didn't take him on. And it's not regret because he's gone on and done amazing. Doesn't work for us, never worked for us. We turned him down and he turned out to be one of the biggest brokers in Dubai. So age is not really a thing. It's just, is the mindset there? But when we're trying to put all these pieces together of the puzzle, I do know part of the puzzle is having a high level of emotional intelligence, which comes with age. If I get that, brilliant. If you're young, brilliant as well, but have the drive and determination and that work rate that's going to help you get the EQ later on.
So basically, if you've got emotional intelligence,
Hard to get that.
whatever age, then we want you.
Yeah, but if you haven't and you're young and you say, I want to learn, I'm interested as well, because grafting will get you places.
Agreed. Okay, so we touched on this earlier on, but in your opinion, is there enough property supply for the constant demand?
We're undersupplied. So 35,000 units handed over so far in the last 12 months. There is 140,000 people that have moved here. And that's probably undercooked. We do not have enough property for the property market. The biggest challenge is getting the properties on, because the market is massively overcooked with brokers because of everyone's trying to get a piece of it. That's where brand equity comes into place. Picking up the phone and saying, hey, it's Allsopp and Allsopp. It's better than, hi, it's XYZ real estate. And they're like, who are you? Brand equity is becoming a big part of what the real estate market is. So there's not enough properties. To win them is harder, but when you're with a good company, it becomes a lot easier.
So here's one that I get asked quite a lot, and it's whether or not somebody can work another job alongside their real estate position until they start earning.
Just start the question, no. Absolutely not.
Okay.
I don't get how it's possible. There's no such thing as part-time real estate. I am 18 years into the job. I am full-time this. I don't have another business. I am fully into this. My phone rings at 11 o'clock, 10 o'clock, 7 in the morning. When I was an agent, you're doing viewings on the weekend. There is no part-time. Like, the best way to describe real estate, do not come and talk to anybody in real estate about a work-life balance. They are literally intertwined.
Yep.
You have your dinner with your wife, but if the phone rings, you answer it. You can go to the beach on a Friday for half a day, no problem. But if you got a viewing, you get up and go.
Yeah.
That's how real estate is. But people sometimes don't want to accept that. And people come to me and go, when's the mental health day? And do you do these days off? I'm like, mate, like until you are at the level where you're absolutely smashing it,
Yep.
our job is to get you to a point where you don't need us and then we leave you alone.
Yeah.
I've never once in the top 20 or 30 people in the company asked them where they are, what their diary is like or anything else. But you cannot work part-time in this job.
That was a very definite, you cannot work part-time in the job.
Just it.
Okay,
Can
final.
I be a part-time footballer for the Premier League?
No.
There you go
If
then.
you failed,
Are you mad? I'd still make it.
you wouldn't. Mate.
Probably.
No, I don't know that
Great
much about
left
football,
back.
but I don't
Yeah, no,
definitely
I was
don't think
alright.
you'd be professional.
Sunday League, which is like the low.
Five-a-side.
No, I was 5-a-side as well.
Okay, so honestly then, how much money could somebody make in their first year if they really gave it their all? No BS, real life figures.
I'm just going to, let's say Liam Howard stopped working the second month, that's £250,000. So it is what it is. Like I've just come off this podcast and said someone did $1 million, 1.2 million, 1.3 what it was in their first month, and then they did £30,000 the month after. Some people make 5,000 dirhams, which is £1,000. It depends who you are, what your drive is, and what area you're going to work in. How like lettings, if you are making £4,000 to £5,000 a month, you are exceptionally good at lettings. Yeah. If you're an average lettings agent, you'll make £1,500 to £2,500 a month. We don't want average lettings agents. You may start as an average letting agent. Our job is to train you, turn you into that, and then get you into sales. So you can earn anything from £250,000 to your first month to £250,000.
Me 250 quid or 250,000. Yeah, I know.
It's true though.
Yeah.
That's the exciting thing about Dubai for me. Like anything can happen. I mean, there's people on jet skis going past me right now.
Anything could happen.
It's not even a jet ski, by the way. It's actually one of the cars. You know the cars that's a jet ski?
Yeah.
That's Dubai.
That is Dubai for you. I think it's actually Ferrari.
Oh,
Nice.
Even more Dubai.
Even more Dubai. So what we're basically saying is, if you are watching this and you are thinking, this cannot surely be it, this is not for me, there is another way. And the other way is moving to Dubai to work in real estate. We are recruiting quite heavily into 2025 because you've given us some quite ambitious targets.
Yeah, but the targets are for market share. The reason a real estate company grows, by the way, is not because we want to go, we want more people because we want more money. Like how Dubai's ended up growing is that Dubai has handed over more development. So you'll see the marina and JBR here. You won't see it on the shot now, but earlier you may have seen that shot. That didn't exist in 2006. The Burj Khalifa was 3 stumps when I moved here, and I was selling the 3 stumps on payment plans. The Atlantis Royal didn't exist 2 years ago. All these developments that are growing, we need agents to help these new areas. So there's not just buildings, there's actual communities of hundreds and hundreds of villas handing over. We need help. Help us selling and renting these units.
I think that's a good place to finish up.
Yeah.
The first ever webinar on board Lady Allsopp II. Thank you.
Thank you.